Hello all. This is a very interesting calculator which is called refinance calculator. You might you might have challenge finding this calculator. If you go to calculator.net, when you go to this website, let's see if okay, it came. You might not see that calculator in here because you have to click first on this one. Although you see financial calculators here, you click here and then refinance calculator. This is a very powerful and interesting calculator. Let's say I know my remaining balance. That means that you borrowed $400,000 to buy a house. You bought the house. Now you still, after 10 years, you owe $250,000 and your monthly payment is, 1,800, and the interest rate that the bank is charging you is $7, 7%. Now, another bank comes to you and say that come and refinance your house. We are going to do what? We are going to give you a lower interest payment. It says, why do you want to pay 7%? But they are asking you 2 points. 2 points, think about that as 2% they are charging. Think about it as commission. 2% of, this. That means they are charging you $5,000, for example, and also you have a cost also. Therefore, when you add 1,500 here, with this 5,000, for example, will be $6,500 extra you pay, but instead of paying 7% interest, you are paying 6%. You want to know if it is a good idea for you to finance the house or not. What you do, particularly those who already have a house, or let's say your parents already have a house, you want to see what calculations, if they are going to drop, a new bank comes and drops the interest rate for you, and then you click calculate. Let's see what it means. It means that your current bank is charging you $250,000 and you are paying a monthly fee of $1,800, and you have to pay 285 payments, means 285 months. And this is the interest you have to pay. Therefore, the total money that you pay in these 285 months comes to almost $500,000. Do you see that? That's $500,000. And out of that $500,000, $263,000 of it is the interest that the bank is getting from you, and the rest of it goes to cover this 250. And here, do you remember I told you $5,000 of, just commission the new bank? They called it point and 1,500. I said it will become 6,000. This is the expense that, will come with the new financing. But see how smart it is if you go with the new bank with the lower interest. That is the money that this new bank is going to give you. The other bank pay off this bank. And then your mortgage, instead of 1,800, it drops to $1,791. That means every month you are saving around $8-9. But that's not your real saving. Your real saving comes from here. Do you see here? This bank wanted you to pay 285 months of 1,800. But here you only pay in 240 months. That means this is only takes you 20 years. 240 months is 20 years. But this one takes more than 20 years. It takes, let's say, 25 years. Therefore, do you see, according to this one, you pay 45 months less payment every month. That's a huge amount of saving. First bank charge you 7%. This bank is charging you only 6.39. That is, the difference. Look at now here. If you went with the first bank, you kept the first mortgage. In the remaining, in the next 25 years, you had to pay 513. But what will happen here, because your interest rate has dropped, this is the total money that you will be paying. That means the total is $429,000, and you are paying $83,000 less. Therefore, your argument would be, oh, this is a great deal. This is a much better deal to go with this lower interest. even by, despite of paying this commission, I think about it as a commission or cost of this loan, already you take this cost into consideration. Now, what does this mean, time to recover cost? Is that after 30 months, means 2.5 years, you break even, which means after 2.5 years, you recover all these costs that you have, and then after that, you will be in a better shape. Therefore, the argument would be, oh, that is a better, deal to refinance. Therefore, we want you to understand this calculator. And when you do that, please explain this. Look at here. Here is telling you your new monthly payment is this much. Your new, which is here, you will see it. And then you say that this is you pay this much every month, you pay less, but the real saving comes because you pay 45 months earlier. Do you see here, 45 months? If this one is 285 payments of 1,800, this is only 240 of this payment. Therefore, but here, this one is against you because that's 6,500, but nothing to be worried. Why nothing to be worried? Because when you deduct, here you save $3,000. It's okay, $6,500 of it, goes for this closing costs and points, which means that when you subtract this 65 from this 83, that is the 76,000 that you are going to save. Therefore, smart people understand these things and they go and refinance. Of course, this time is not a good time for refinancing the houses because the interest rates are high. These days, it's around 7%. A few years ago, it was 3%. The people were smart. They were all going and refinancing their homes. Let's say their mortgage of 1,800 suddenly dropped to 1,200. Do you see how such a difference? For 20 years, the person, rather than paying $1,800, he or she pays $1,200. And that's a great saving. Therefore, understanding personal finance is very important. And I want you, after that, copy this, but as I told you, change the numbers and write some explanations that say, hey, this by refinancing, I am saving this much. This is the way, this is my cost, this is my points, this is the closing cost, and this is my break-even time that after 3 months, I will recover this cost of 6,500. And after that, it is a profit. It was a great deal. Now imagine that suddenly another bank comes and gives you, rather than 6%, it might give you 5%. And that's what happened in, a few years ago. Let me show you when it was. You see that here, suddenly the new banks came and said the interest rates dropped to 3.5. And look at the huge difference now. The people who were smart 2-3 years ago during Corona, they went, look at here, the payment was 1,800. This dropped to 1,400. Every month they paid 350. Imagine for 20 years you'd paid 300. Do you see that because they refinanced, they saved $165,000. Therefore, now you understand why they say personal finance is such an important issue. And therefore, the break-even points will happen after 9 months. Do you remember? The other one was 30 months, but this one happens in 9 months. Therefore, I want you to copy this one and copy the other screen and put it on the discussion board and show me that you understood this. And please feel free to discuss with other students because we want to make it active. I didn't necessarily, post it that you have to, maybe I should send an email and tell students to, respond to at least 2 students, which I will. It seems to me that way it tells me that you are active and you are, it is a great discussion.